At a diner, the waitress called my best friend my girlfriend. Don't correct her. The waitress had barely placed the menus on our table when she smiled at my best friend and said, "So, what can I get you two lovebirds?" I almost laughed. My best friend, Emma, froze. Then she looked directly at me and quietly said, "Don't correct her." I stared at her. What? She leaned closer, lowered her voice, and whispered, "Just, don't." For the first time in the 12 years I had known Emma, I had absolutely no idea what she was thinking. We had been best friends since college. We had survived terrible roommates, bad jobs, failed relationships, family drama, and more late-night fast food runs than I could count. But we had never been a couple. Not even close. At least, that was what I had always believed. The waitress smiled again. "I'll give you two a few minutes." As soon as she walked away, I leaned across the table. "Emma, what was that?" She picked up the menu and pretended to read it. "I told you. Don't correct her." "Why?" "Because I want to see something." "What?" She finally looked at me. "I want to know what it feels like." What feels like?" She smiled nervously. "For one night. I want to know what it feels like if people think we're together." I laughed because I assumed she was joking. She didn't laugh. That was when I realized she was serious. "Emma, you know everyone already thinks we're dating." "I know. They always have." "I know. Your mother once asked me when I was going to propose." "I know. And you never corrected her." Emma slowly put the menu down. "Maybe I didn't want to." That sentence changed the entire mood at the table. I stared at her. She looked toward the window, avoiding my eyes. "Emma." "Forget it," she said quickly. "I shouldn't have said that." "No. Wait." She looked back at me. "What did you mean?" She took a breath. "I mean, sometimes I wonder what would happen if we stopped pretending we were just friends." My heart started beating faster. I didn't know what to say. The waitress returned with 2 glasses of water. "So, what are you two celebrating?" Emma looked at me. I looked at her. Then she smiled. "Nothing special." The waitress nodded. "Well, you two look happy." Emma's cheeks turned slightly red. After the waitress walked away, I whispered, "You're enjoying this." "A little." "You're crazy." "Maybe." We ordered burgers and coffee, but neither of us was really focused on the food. Something had changed. Every time someone looked at us, Emma seemed strangely comfortable. At one point, she reached across the table and took my hand. I nearly dropped my coffee. She whispered, "Relax." "I am relaxed." "You're sweating." "I'm drinking hot coffee." She smiled. "Sure." For the next few minutes, we sat there holding hands. It felt completely different from every other time we had sat together. Not awkward. Not wrong. Just new. Then the waitress came back. She looked at our hands and smiled. I knew it. Emma laughed. "Knew what?" "That you two were a couple." I opened my mouth. Emma squeezed my hand. I stopped. The waitress smiled and walked away. I looked at Emma. "You really don't want me to correct her?" "No." "Why?" Emma looked down at our hands. "Because I like the way it sounds." My chest tightened. "Emma." She looked up. "I've spent years telling myself that you're my best friend because that's the safest thing you could be." I didn't move. She continued. "You've always been there. Every breakup. Every bad day. Every stupid decision. Every time I called you at 2 in the morning because I couldn't sleep." She smiled sadly. And somewhere along the way, you became the person I wanted to call first when something good happened too. I swallowed. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I was terrified. Of what? Of losing you. That answer hit me harder than anything else. She continued quietly. If I told you I had feelings for you and you didn't feel the same way, everything would change. I wouldn't just lose a boyfriend. I'd lose my best friend. I looked down at our hands. Emma, do you really think I would just walk away? I don't know. You should. She smiled faintly. You're right. I should know you better than that. There was a long silence. Then I said, can I tell you something? She nodded. I've been in love with you for years. Her eyes widened. What? I just never thought I was allowed to say it. She stared at me like I had just spoken another language. I laughed nervously. I thought you saw me as the guy who helped you move apartments. You did help me move. Exactly. Romantic hero. She laughed. And the guy who fixed my car. Another major relationship milestone. And the guy who stayed up all night helping me study. See? Husband material. She laughed again, but tears had started forming in her eyes. Then she whispered, why didn't you tell me? Same reason you didn't. She looked at me. I was scared. For a few seconds, neither of us said anything. Then Emma squeezed my hand. So what happens now? I smiled. I guess we find out. She looked toward the waitress. Think she'll believe us if we tell her we're actually together now? I smiled. I think she'll celebrate. A few minutes later, the waitress came over with our food. Well, she said, you two look even happier than before. Emma looked at me. Then she smiled. We are. The waitress grinned. I knew it. We both laughed. But the night wasn't over. After dinner, we walked outside into the cool evening air. The diner lights reflected on the wet pavement, and cars passed slowly down the street. Emma stood beside me. So? Are we actually doing this? I looked at her. Doing what? Going from best friends to something more. I smiled. I think we already did. She stepped closer. You're not scared? I am. Me too. Good. Good. Means it matters. She smiled. Then she rested her head against my shoulder. For the first time in 12 years, I didn't feel like I was standing beside my best friend. I felt like I was standing beside the woman I had been waiting for without even realizing I was waiting. Before we left, Emma looked back through the diner window. The waitress was watching us. She raised her eyebrows and gave us a thumbs up. Emma laughed. Then she looked at me. You know what the funniest part is? What? If she hadn't called me your girlfriend, I might never have told you. I smiled. So we owe her. Definitely. We started walking down the street. After a few steps, Emma stopped. What? She looked at me with that same smile she had given me at the diner. Tomorrow, let's go back. Why? She shrugged. I want to hear her call me your girlfriend again. I laughed. You're getting used to it? Emma slipped her hand into mine. I could get used to this. And this time, I didn't let go.